Hey guys, it's Lori. So I just wanted to kind of finish what I was talking about yesterday. Yesterday, I started to make a video on this and I just started talking about other stuff. And then earlier, just a few minutes ago, I started to make a video on this and I ended up getting off on a completely different subject, which I do want to cover, so I'll probably do it in the next video. Um, and what started me off on the other subject, and I will make the other video, I promise I won't do it in this one, but I was apologizing for the mess because I took a break to make this video. But what I'm doing is I'm doing like deep cleaning, and I don't know about you, but when I do that, I make more of a mess, or at least it appears that I'm making more of a mess in order to, really clean. And um, what does that have to do with manifesting? Well, not only am I apologizing, but I find for me, and I think it's true of almost everybody. I know some people have issues with like hoarding and that kind of thing, but for the most part, um, a, a, a neat and well kept place is a neat and well kept mind. Um, Amongst the chaos, there's chaos. Does that make sense to you? And it's hard to tell, which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? I mean, because when people get depressed, have you ever noticed? I mean, some people get depressed and they just go into cleaning mode. Other people get depressed and they find, and it happens to me, or a lot actually, if I get really down or if I allow dark energy to rule, if I, because it's one thing to know all this stuff, it's another thing to live it. Have you ever asked yourself, I know all this stuff, why do I keep going through the same cycles? Well, there's a reason for that. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but I will in a later one. So please don't beat yourself up if that's the case. But I find that if I allow the darkness to get to me, or if I get down or whatever, I will end up, even if it's just me, if the kids aren't around, grandkids aren't around, I end up in a messy place. It's like, so which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I guess it's situational, because I know sometimes it's always better if my house is clean. It's always clean. It can be messy though. But if it gets messy, I get scattered in my head. And if I get scattered in my head, the house gets messy. So which is it? I don't know. I guess it's a little bit of both for me. Something to think about, right? Anyhow, if we, the tidier it is, not only is our mind clearer, our energy is also clearer, and negative entities, negative energy somehow seems to be able to hide in the clutter. So, anyhow, without going into that whole thing, because that's what I got off on earlier, and I decided I was led that way, so I know that I have to make another video about that. I'm going to mark the time now so that I can write it down in the description when I'm talking about this exercise. So, we were talking about vision boards last time we talked, my group and I, and we're going to together do one. But I wanted to talk about another thing that you can do, and there are all different. Um, I don't know what you want to call them, projects, different ways of manifesting. I have videos on all different ways. I use all different kinds of things. Bottom line is understanding how it works and living it, truly believing it and living it. So, one thing that works for one person may not work for you, and another thing that everybody says doesn't work may work for you. Go with what works for you. But like I said, nothing's really going to work if you can't get in the mindset of, understanding how this works. And honestly, it can't fail. God created it this way. This is the way it is. This is the way it works. So, but this is kind of neat. So we all have soul wounds. We all have bad programming, so to speak. So how do you get around that if you want to manifest? Because you know what? As a life coach, what I look at for myself and for anybody that I'm working with, if they're trying to change their life, manifest, whatever it is, live the life that they're meant to live, whatever the case may be, I always look at the blocks and what's causing the blocks, sometimes we got to look at why they want the life they want or whatever, but really, what is stopping you from being all that you can be, right? So, and I know we have soul wounds, we have attacks, we have all different things, and again, I'm not going to go off on that, but we can overwrite, okay? We can override the bad programming and put in some new programming. And how we do that, there's different ways, but one of them is in overriding is, to create a different story. You hear people talk about writing their new story, and all that. So this is a fun little activity, I think. If you like to write, or if you don't like to write, record it one way or another. I'm always telling people, one of your most important tools with any of this kind of work, spiritual growth, any kind of work like this, whether it's manifesting or learning how to just rise above, or any of it, is your notebook. And I know it's a simple little tool, but it's so powerful. Some people really, really dislike writing. So if you do, record it somehow anyway, whether you have a manifesting or growth partner that you talk to each other, or record it into an audio device. Most phones today have a recording capability, so record it right into your phone. As long as it's recorded, it's more powerful than if it's not. So record it somehow, writing it down, sharing it with another person, whatever. So try this. Picture yourself as a writer, a creator. Even if you hate writing, you're still a writer. You're a writer, and you've been asked to either write a book or write a screenplay. Write a book that'll be made into a screenplay, or write a screenplay. And you don't have to write like everybody's, lines and all that. I mean, that would be a little elaborate. You could if you wanted to, but you don't have to go that far. But what I want you to do is think of a scenario. What is it that you want to create? What is it that, and it's not really creating, it's calling to yourself. So what life do you want to jump into? What do you want to do? And to begin with, especially if you're just a beginner, make it realistic. You've got to believe it could happen. You have to. That's like a main component of this. Even Jesus talks about, when you ask, believe that you've received it. And he also says, a double-minded man isn't going to get what he wants. What he means by that is, if you say, yes, I believe, you put it out there, and then you doubt it, you're not going to get it. It's not going to happen. Jesus was telling us this is because that's how God created things. So make it, believable. You can believe it. But go outside of your current reality into what you want. So push it to the limit. For instance, if it's about, I'll just use money because money is like a common thing. So don't go from, haven't had a job in 2 years to CEO of a major company, Fortune 500 company or something like that. It's a little outside of the believable realm. Not that it couldn't happen, it could. But if you're not at the point where you can actually believe that, it's not going to happen. So, just like, your account goes from negative $150 to, $5 million. Could happen. Absolutely could happen. But if you can't believe it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. So instead of going to 5 million, go from your negative 150 or whatever to 5,000 a week. If you can't believe 5,000 a week, go to 500 a week. Whatever is believable to you, but yet push it outside of what is quote unquote reality today. Okay? So first and foremost, you are the main character of your book or play, okay? So describe the main character a little bit. Who is she or he? What's their personality like? What are their goals, their dreams? If you want to be more of a outgoing person, write that in. If you want to be more of a quiet person, write that in. If you want to be a little more successful than you are, write that in. Again, we're sticking to what you can believe. Okay? If you can't believe it, I mean, if you are normally a quiet person and you like to stick to yourself, but you like to be outgoing, you like to be like, famous, and you write yourself in as famous, but yet you can't believe that about yourself, it's not going to happen. So instead, if you want to be, on your way to fame, you can make yourself a little more outgoing. You can make yourself sharing your talents without fear, that kind of thing. Maybe on a local level, you're more, famous or whatever. But write up your character. Be as descriptive as you can, but don't take days to do it. Just be as descriptive as you can and, be real, just outside the limits, just like with everything else. And then you've got your other characters, whether it be your animals, the people in your life, whoever it may be. Write in your other characters. Other characters that you know in the physical realm. Maybe there's other characters you have not brought into your frame of existence yet. Okay? If you're waiting on that perfect relationship, maybe that person is now part of the he's part of the character list. Okay, so you've got your other characters. You don't have to go into detail about them and explain them unless they are another leading role. And if they are another leading role, then yeah, absolutely do a little description of them, as if you were writing a book and people want to know who these people are. The other characters, as you introduce them, like you would in a book, kind of say whatever. And then create your scenario. What it is that you want to manifest. What is it? What do you want to manifest? You can write one full day. You could put a 6-month period. You want to make it fun for you. If you are having fun with it, go as long as you want with it. If you just want to get it done and over with, do one day. You don't have to take hours upon hours. This isn't about time limit. This is about you stepping into that play. You are going to now act this out. And so is everybody else that is in that play. You have written it. You are directing it. You're producing it. So, God's helping you produce it, right? And maybe you want to consult with the producer a little bit. It's up to you. But, and I always pray before I do anything, because even if I believe it 5,000,000% that I'm right about this, and this is the way it should be, and this is what's best for me, I always pray about everything, because I've learned over the years, when I first started learning about this stuff, I was all wrong, because I just got what I wanted. And believe me, you're going to get what you want. These are laws in place, and they work, and they do not fail. They work. As long as we get rid of our blocks, our attacks, all that, they work, period. So that's why we tend to sometimes manifest things that we don't want in our lives. Whatever you give energy to grows, So that's what this whole purpose of this exercise is about, is you're giving energy. You're building that scenario. You're creating that scenario, and you're jumping into it. So write out your screenplay, whether it be a day, whatever, however you want it to be. You've got your main characters. You've got your main character, which is you. Then you've got your supporting roles. There may be another leading role, whatever. Write out your scenario, and then read it over and jump right into it. And as you're writing it, jump right into it. This is going to help you to feel the emotions. It's going to help you to, you're literally writing it. Now, another thing is, don't type it out. I mean, I know for some of us it might be easier. I know for myself, if I write too much, it hurts. But there's just something a little more powerful in the actual written word, if you're going to write it, versus typing. I mean, if you really prefer to type, go ahead. But there just seems to be more power in typing. I've gone on and on too long. There's so much more I want to talk about, so I'm just going to make another video. try this and tell me what you think of it. If you want to join our manifesting group, I'd love to have you. You can email me at passagesgroupinfo@gmail.com. I'll put it down in the description. Or if you want any services, I have recently discovered that the groups, the gallery styles that I do, along with the I do groups, like people will have me come to their house, and then I do individual sessions of a half hour with so many people there. Well, due to circumstances beyond my control with the car problems and everything, I ended up having to do both of those different times via video. Now, I've done, phone sessions forever with people. I have clients I've never met that have been my clients for years. I know their voices, don't know what they look like, I've done video chat privately, but as far as galleries and then the groups, I've never done that through video before until recently when I was forced to a few different times. And I got to tell you, everybody that participated in those, I've done gallery and I've done the other kind. Everybody gave great reviews. They all loved it. They were hesitant at first, as was I. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but it went really well. It was as if I was just sitting there with you guys. So one lady told me, she's like, I actually like it a lot better because I'm sitting here in the room with you, but yet I still feel alone, that I can cry, I can absorb, I can sit here and close my eyes, because although I'm not here to entertain you, but when we're face to face, I feel like I have to, keep up the conversation. When you're just on a video, it's different. I feel more private. I feel more relaxed, but yet I'm still getting the quality out of it. So this opened up a world of possibilities for me. I'm like, this is great. Not only does it work for me, it saves me driving 2 hours or whatever. But it also opens up doors of possibility. Those people that are in other states, my clients that are, over in the UK or whatever, we can do this. We can do the gallery styles. We can do the individual sessions in a group setting where you still, because the reason why people do the individuals in a group setting, not only so they can have their own little party, and they can still have their party. It's just I'm not physically there. I'm on video in the other room waiting for everybody. And at the same time, they have their privacy, and we can do it all over the world. I can do it everywhere. So if you're interested in that, or if you're interested in a private session, and what I was saying, I'm sorry, I lost track. The reason they do that is not only to have their little party, but also if you get so many, then you get a free one. That's why a lot of people like to host stuff like that. So you get to talk to me for free for however long it is, depending on how many people or whatever. So if you need a private session, if you need some coaching, if you want to do the gallery style, if you want to try it via video, or whatever, anything, message me. I'll leave my info down there. If you're going to use telephone, texting, a lot of times it's easier to get me rather than voicemail, because sometimes my voicemails don't come through. So if that ever happens, or if you message me on Facebook or somewhere and I don't answer, please text me or email me, because sometimes I'm never ignoring you. I know that. So anyhow, I've gone on too long. Watch for my next video. It's going to be about negative entities and energies, not only in people, but in the spirit realm, and how they can block us from living the life we desire. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe if you want. Donations are great if you want, or not. I love you guys. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon.